Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel like chemistry. I won't let no one.
Hey y'all, what's up? Okay, I haven't done a video in, I don't know, in a while. But I knew I needed to come on here and I needed to post, to stay active and, I'm gonna get back, posting more and being more, what is the word? Consistent. I'm gonna be more consistent. So as y'all can see, I'm actually putting together this desk chair right now because I got a new desk chair and ain't nobody gonna put it together but me. So yeah, and I'm gonna give y'all a little story time. So this is gonna be like my first little story time. As I told y'all in my very first video, like I got a lot of stories, y'all. And so I'm ready to share with y'all this story. This is actually gonna be about how I found out I was pregnant at 15. Yes, so for those of you who don't know, I was a teen mom. I had my son when I was 15 years old. I was a sophomore in high school. So, yeah. Okay, so how I found out. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so in high school, I was very, very active. I did pretty much any and everything. I was a cheerleader. I ran track. I played volleyball. Played basketball. What else did I do? I was in band. I was a band nerd. I did all of that. What else? I played softball. I played anything and did anything that I could do. Because I just like being active. But at 15, I had a boyfriend at the time, and of course, we was being fast and doing what kids wasn't supposed to do. At the time, my mama was not aware that, I was doing what I was doing because she would have killed me, like, period. So I was being sneaky. And so I was sneaking around with my boyfriend at the time, but she didn't know that he was my boyfriend. Like, I've been knowing him since, and this is Q's dad that I'm talking about. I've been knowing him since I was a kid. Like, we pretty much like had the same babysitter type stuff. Like, our families were real close, so we kind of like grew up together type stuff. We were never interested in each other when we were young, so like we didn't start getting interested in each other until I was a teenager. So when I hit 13, 14, 15, blah, 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 that's when he and I started like talking and, realizing, okay, we kind of like each other, blah, 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 blah. Well, the way we even started talking, it was a dare. So one of our mutual friends was like, I dare y'all to kiss, da, 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 da. We kissed. And, kind of liked it. So, things started to progress and stuff like that. So, he is actually my first. So, he actually took my virginity. I was very young when I lost my virginity. Young kids, if y'all are watching this, please wait. Wait till marriage. There's no rush on it. It's nothing super fantastic or crazy. Just wait, okay? Just wait, And if you haven't waited, please be safe. Anyways, back to my story. My mom ended up moving to Houston. And I was not with moving, like, at all. I wanted to stay where I was. I wanted to graduate and be a yeoman. Like, that's just what I wanted to do. Like, I was adamant about staying. Now, I've always had good grades. I've never really got in trouble in school. Of course, I had a little smart little mouth, but, my grades were always fantastic. I was very active in my sports. I was on the varsity track team. So I was not trying to move. Like, my life was set in Cameron where I was. Like, I loved it there. Like, that was my home. That was my norm. That's what I knew. And, from elementary on up to junior high and stuff, my mama always had us moving. I went to like 3 or 4 different schools, and I hated it every time. So this time, with me being older, I was like, I don't want to move. Like, I just want to graduate here. And it took a lot of convincing, but she eventually agreed to allowing me to stay. Now, what she did, like I told y'all, she didn't know that me and Q's dad was messing around, like, at all. She had no idea. I was very sneaky. I was lying to her about who, you know, was my boyfriend and who I was being around and blah, 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 blah. So, like I said, our families were very close. And so when the talk came about where I was going to stay while she was, you know, moving, his mom's name came up. Like, oh, I can stay over there with them. Me being sneaky, I'm like, I'm gonna just stay over there, you know, because at the time that was my man. I'm gonna stay with my man. But she didn't know that. I was like, oh, can I just go stay with, you know, Miss So-and-so? And she was like, well, let me talk to her, da-da-da-da. So they talked, they agreed, it was fine with them. Also, his mom didn't really know either. Like, I think she had her suspicions, but she didn't really know, like, for real. So it came down to, okay, I'm gonna stay over there. So I had my own room over there. He had his own room. So yeah, so everything was good, everything was copacetic, and like I said, nobody knew what we had going. We were very sneaky, so we was sneaking around doing what we was doing. And then boom, I missed my period was late one day. One day, y'all, and I was like, oh no. Like, I've never been late in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, ever. Even to this day, like, my period is really never late. So I was late for one day, baby, and I just knew. So, you know, I scraped up me a few dollars, and I went to the little local dollar store, and I had bought me a test. Now, I didn't tell anybody that I was having suspicions of me being pregnant, because, you know, I wasn't really believing that I was, but I was going to take this test just to make sure. So I bought the test, and when I got back to the house, I took it, and I set it face down. I remember I peed on it, and then I set it face down because I was nervous, but I was like, nah, this shit can't be real. Like, there's no way. You know what I'm saying? Although I know there was a way, you know, but there was no way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in denial, y'all. So when I flipped that thing over, y'all, it said positive. I didn't have no reaction. I didn't cry. I didn't get mad. I didn't laugh. I was just like in disbelief. I was just looking at it like, okay, you know, that's what it say. And so I gathered myself. I came out the bathroom, and I went in my baby daddy room, and I was sitting on the bed. I sat all the way back up against the wall, and he was watching some movie on the TV. And so I put the test behind his back, and I'm calling his name. I'm like, hello, look, you know, he all into the movie like it's just so good. I'm like, hello, turn around, look. So he turns around, and I point, and like he looked at it, and like, y'all, like he just started crying. And so I'm like, oh, it's okay, like, don't cry, you know, like, I'm consoling him. Because I don't think it still had hit me, but it hit him like a ton of bricks. So he was like emotional, and I was like, oh my God, like, it's okay, don't cry, ooh, it's fine. And it's like the roles were reversed, you know what I'm saying? Normally the female would be the one crying, like, oh, my life is over, and you know, the dude would be the one consoling her. No, it was the opposite, but I only feel like it was that because, like I said, it hadn't hit me yet. And so some time went by, you know, a couple weeks. I still hadn't told nobody. He was the only one that knew. You know, we were still weighing our options, trying to figure out what the hell we was going to do, when the hell we was going to tell people, if we were going to tell people. And then it just one day, I feel like this was like 2 weeks later, one day, like, we was sitting there, we was eating, and then I was like, I just busted out crying, y'all, like, and he looking like, oh, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm really pregnant, oh, my mama's gonna kill me, my life is over, and he's just like, you know, he thought we was past that stage. He's just like, well, don't cry, it's okay, like, you know, now it's his turn to console me. But like, I just think I had a delayed reaction because, like I said, I wasn't like, it just wasn't registering in my head, like the stuff, it just couldn't be true. I never took another test. Like, it was just that one test that I took, and I don't know, it just took some time for me to really get used to it and like figure out what it was, like. And when it really registered, I had like a little mental breakdown. Like, I had a little mental breakdown, y'all. Okay, so fast forward a few more months. We still never told anybody. Like, not a soul knew. Nobody. I didn't have a close friend that I told. I didn't have a close family member that I told. Nobody in the world freaking knew other than me and him. Like, that's just, I was scared. Like, I was so scared. I was going to school every day, you know, acting as if things were normal. Like I said, I was a cheerleader. We had cheer camp during the summer. Like, so I found out I was pregnant late April, early May type stuff. Like, you know, right when school was getting out. So I found out the end of my freshman year. And so, you know, I went through the whole summer, like, you know, hiding it type stuff, like hiding it. And I had cheer camp over that summer. And you know, when you're a cheerleader, you have to get fitted like for those shells, the shell tops and the skirts and stuff. And everything has to be like really tight, really sleek, you know what I'm saying? Like, and in high school, I was like 125 soaking wet. So I was always super skinny. You know, I had a six pack and everything, like y'all. Like, I was really slim in high school. And so when summertime rolled around, this was like June, July type stuff, I was starting to have a little bit of a pudge. But it wasn't too much for people to notice, but it did look as if, oh, you know, it's the summertime. She hasn't been working out and been as active, so it looked like she gained a little weight. So my shells and my skirt was starting to fit a little tighter. And so I was having to like go on the last button type stuff. Like, my cheer coach was having to help me button it up because, you know, it wasn't fitting like it was supposed to. But they still didn't really suspect anything, like I said, because I was always super slim. 2 days came around, and, you know, August, you know, the start of the school year when you're getting more active in volleyball and stuff like that, you know, your girls grow. I always had a small chest in high school, y'all. So everything was starting to grow and get bigger, and it was just taking, you know, more on me than I could bear. Mind y'all, like I said, I never told anybody. So this whole time throughout my pregnancy, I'm not taking prenatals. I never went to the doctor. My mama never knew. Like, this is the whole time I'm going through my pregnancy, y'all. Like, no type of care or nothing. Like, I'm just going through like I'm not even pregnant. Like, I just feel like I was just too scared to tell anybody. I didn't know how people was gonna react. I didn't know how my mama was gonna react. And I didn't know what was gonna happen, so I just never said anything. Like, as long as I wasn't showing, I was gonna hide it till I couldn't hide it no more, y'all. So during volleyball, some of the older girls, the seniors and juniors at the time, you know, it was some real nosy, real messy, real people on the team, and they just love to talk about people. You know what I'm saying? So one of the girls was like asking one of my family members, is she pregnant? Is she pregnant? Da, da, da. And my family member was like, no, like, I don't know. Why you keep asking me that? You know what I'm saying? Like, people starting to talk because now you can see that, you know, my boobs are getting a little bigger. I'm starting to have a little pudge. And this was the beginning of my sophomore year, y'all. So, like, August, right in the August time. Like, so they're starting to see me more. And around this time, I got pregnant in March. It's April, May, June, July, August. By this time, I'm like 5.5, almost 6 months type stuff. So I'm starting to show. So these people just, you know, everybody's, you know, whispering, spreading rumors. Nobody ever came up and asked me directly, ever. But everybody's just whispering and talking and this and that. So, of course, everything is getting back to my coaches and to the teachers and stuff. And then by this point, that's when everybody's starting to ask. You know, they can see the weight gain now. They can see that I'm acting a little differently. They can see that I'm more closed off and more to myself. And so everybody's starting to ask. And I'm thinking to myself, Lord Jesus, like, if everybody's starting to notice, somebody is going to tell my mama before I can tell my mama. And if somebody tell my mama before I can tell my mama, that's going to be even worse than me telling her. So I was like, okay, I got to tell my mama. But I just wasn't ready, so I still never did. Like, I think I had went like another month, y'all, like, before I even said anything to my mama. Because it took for my cheer coach to be like, they pulled me to the side. So they came over there and they were like, are you pregnant? And I was just like, no, you know, that's fine. Like, not really knowing what was gonna happen, what they was gonna do and or say. But I was like, no. And it's okay. Well, you know, we think you need to go to the doctor, because it could be something more serious. If it's not a baby, you know, it could be a tumor and da 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 da. I'm like, girl, now you know damn well this ain't no tumor. But I was also telling them that I wasn't pregnant, so I was just like, okay, whatever. And they were like, well, should we call your mom? And da da da. I'm like, no, like, don't call my mama. No, you don't have to call my mama. I will call my mama myself. So I'm like, man, these people talking about calling my mama. I need to go and tell my mama. So I think later that evening, my mama always has like work nights. So she will work from like 6 to 6 type stuff. So I had called her one evening during her busiest time. And I knew it was her busiest time because she would always tell me like, hey, this is my busiest time at work. Like, I don't really have a lot of time to talk. So she would tell us not to call her during that time. But this time I purposely called her during that time because I knew she wasn't going to have a lot of time to talk and I could get off the phone faster. So I dialed my mama up. I'm like, hey, Mom. And she was like, what's up, Shay? You know, I'm at work. You know, what's up? You know, I can't talk. And I was like, well, you know, I think I might be pregnant and da-da-da-da-da-da. And she was like, hold on, I'm going to call you right back. And she hung up. Y'all, when I tell you, my heart was pounding so bad. Like, it was boo-boo, boo-boo, boo-boo. Like, you know, I'm telling her I think I'm pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Of course I know. I freaking know that I am. But I just didn't know how to tell her. So I just thought that was the best course of action. So she called me back like 5 minutes later. And she was like, all right, I'm in the bathroom. You got 5 minutes. Go. So I was like, I think I'm pregnant and da-da-da-da. She was like, why do you think you're pregnant? I was like, well, I missed my period. What? How long has your period been late? I don't know, a couple weeks. It hasn't came for a couple. I mean, just lying, just not even knowing what to say. I'm just coming up with some stuff. And she like, you know, asking me, just, you know, just all kind of questions like why I think I'm pregnant and stuff. So then she tells me to go in my room, stand in the mirror, and take a picture of my belly. Like, you know, because I think I told her like my belly's getting a little bigger too. So the whole time that I was going to school for these past few months, I was always sucking in. I was walking straight, you know, shoulders back so I would look slimmer. I was wearing bigger shirts, you know, I was wearing hoodies and stuff, you know, keeping my books in front of me and stuff like that. Like, you know, just not trying to show my belly. So when she told me to take a picture, I was like, okay, I gotta tell her. So this time I'm just not gonna suck in. Like, I'm just gonna just take a regular picture. Like, and if I could find that picture, y'all, I would pin it on here so y'all can see. But I probably won't find it. It's so old. Like, it's such an old picture. I don't even know where that picture would be. But I had the dark line and everything already, y'all. And like, I had an actual bump when I took the picture. And so when I sent it to her, she called me right back and she was like, you think, no, you know you pregnant. And I mean, was going slap off on me, y'all. Yeah, I'm just crying on the phone because like, I'm crying because like, dang, like she gonna kill me. But I'm also crying of like relief, like, oh my God, I don't have to hold this in no more. Like, finally, you know what I'm saying? And so she going off like, who is the daddy? And da-da-da-da-da. And y'all, when I told her that my baby daddy was my baby daddy, girl, y'all, she was so mad. What? How? Not like, she just could not believe it, y'all. She, like I said, she never knew that we were a thing. Like, she never knew. I trusted you. You staying down there with them and you up there doing that and da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, y'all, she was so mad at me, so disappointed. Like, I think she was more disappointed about the fact that I didn't tell her and that I was hiding it more than the fact that I was pregnant. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say my mama was like jumping for joy that I was pregnant at 15. That's not the case at all. But my mama is the type that like, okay, if there's a situation, let me know and we can handle it together. I wasn't with none of that, bro. I was scared. I just knew she was going to kill me. Like, that was it, bro. Like, that was it. I just knew that's what it was gonna be. Like, so no, I was not comfortable telling her that at all. Like, no. So she was very upset. So she ended up coming down later that week and she came to one of my games. She had never seen me cheer before, but she came to one of the games that time and I cheered until halftime. And she was in the stand. She was watching me. Like, at this point, she knows I'm pregnant. Pretty much everybody in the world fucking knows. But, you know, I'm still just cheering, doing my thing, playing the sports like I should until, you know, I have to stop. And so she took me to the doctor. Well, she didn't take me to the doctor. She took me to the emergency room. And she told me to tell the people at the ER that I was having stomach problems and that I needed an ultrasound. And so, obviously, the doggone doctors and stuff, they ain't stupid. They like, girl, what? Like, I was like, I'm having stomach problems. Like, I need an ultrasound. And so, at this point, y'all, I'm 6.5, 7 months. Like, I didn't tell my mom until I was damn near 7 months pregnant. They give me the ultrasound, and that was my first time ever doing anything baby related, like a doctor, an ultrasound, hearing the heartbeat, anything. So I heard the heartbeat and seen the baby move on the monitor, and like my mama looked and she was like, "Well, there's a baby in there," and she just started crying. And like I was just looking like I was fascinated that I was hearing my baby's heartbeat and seeing the baby move, because like I said, I never had any type of prenatal care, any doctor visits or anything. So I never knew. I mean, I could feel the baby kick, but I never knew like if everything was good in that area anyway. So I was fascinated that I heard my baby's heartbeat. Like fascinated that I could see him, but I was also like, oh shoot, she crying. Like, am I about to die now? You know what I'm saying? Like, she been sitting on this for a week. Like, is now the time she gonna kill me? But she didn't. Like, she was kind of quiet, you know. Of course, you know, processing, taking everything in, but she didn't kill me. I'm still here today. She ended up making me move to Houston with her. I'm not really exactly sure what she was trying to like do. I mean, I was already pregnant at that time. But I guess because like, okay, you pregnant, you finna have a baby, you finna, you know, be up here with me. I was miserable. I hated being in Houston. I never wanted to leave Cameron. Like, I was miserable in Houston. I felt like I was like dying. And that might be dramatic, but I hated it in Houston. We eventually moved back. You know, I finished out high school in Cameron for my junior and senior year. But the rest of my sophomore year, I finished here in Houston. But I can say that I had like the easiest pregnancy ever. Like, never any morning sickness. No complications. Like, as y'all can see now, my son is, you know, 9 years old. He's alive and healthy. No complications at birth. No type of health issues at all. He's the most healthiest, most active, most happiest kid I know. So, everything, thank God, thankfully turned out great, you know, even without the prenatal care. But I kind of regret hiding it because I don't have a lot of pictures from when I was pregnant with Q. I don't have a lot of maternity pictures. I have some towards the end that I took, you know, but, you know, nothing from beginning to end. You know, I didn't document anything. I really didn't know anything about pregnancy or anything like that. I was just going through it. I just knew it was a baby in there, it was growing, and then when it was time to have him, it was time to have him. Like, I actually deprived myself of a lot of things, you know, by hiding it. But at the time, I felt like that was what was best for me. You know, being pregnant at 15 was not the end of the world for me. At the end of the day, I have a beautiful, 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 healthy, loving, smart kid, and I don't regret everything that I've been through because, like I say, it molded me into the woman that I am today, y'all. Like, I've learned so much from being a mom young, like, and when I tell y'all, there were so many people with their opinions, people that, you know, talked down on me, that I thought had my back, but, you know, obviously they didn't. It was a lot, and I had to learn to really handle a lot of people talking down, a lot of ridicule, a lot of people doubting me, a lot of people saying that, oh, you know, my life is over. You know, it was a lot. I went through a lot. You know, it is what it is. Everybody handles things differently. But yeah, stuff like that, it really hurt my feelings because I just didn't expect it, you know? But it definitely made me tough. It made me into the woman that I am today, because now, you know, people talk about me, people talking down on me. None of that stuff bothers me at all. At all. Like, if anything, it motivates me. But I did just want to share my story with y'all because it's a crazy little story. Like, I really waited until I was dang near 7 months to tell my mama that I was pregnant. You know, no prenatals, No doctor's visits, nothing. Just really going through life like it wasn't even real until I couldn't hide it no more. Literally until I could not hide it no more, y'all. Like, and it's like after, like I always, so my belly never got super big until after I told my mama. It was like after I got that weight off my shoulder, that's when my baby was like, boom, okay, boom. I'm finna really pop out and, you know, make my grand entrance. That's when my belly really blew up, y'all, because nobody really noticed unless I was wearing my little cheer skirt or I was in my volleyball uniform. You know, that's when people started to notice. But in regular clothes, you couldn't really tell. But after I told my mama, that's when Q was like, all right, mama, I'm tired of hiding. I'm finna come from the back and I'm finna come up to the front. And I started getting a little belly, y'all, and I started to fall in love with my little belly. But that is my story time, y'all. As y'all can see, I haven't really done much with this chair. I be getting distracted. But I'm finna finish putting this chair together and I'm gonna show y'all how it turned out. Alright? Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video. And if y'all know any teen moms, any young girls, any young moms, period, that are going through anything and they just need somebody to talk to, somebody they can relate to, please, y'all, hit me up. This is why I made this channel, to help people, you know, to just talk and influence somebody, to give somebody that knowledge that they might need, or, you know, the knowledge that they didn't know they needed. So that's all I got, y'all. Next time I do a story time, I'm gonna have to tell y'all about the births of both of my babies, because oh my god, y'all, I got some crazy birth stories and I've been wanting to share with y'all. So that's what I'm gonna do for my next story time. I'm about to finish putting this chair together. I'm gonna show y'all how it look when it's done. So peace. All right, y'all, I finished the chair all by myself. It does what it's supposed to do. So, yep, this is the finished product.
Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel like chemistry. I won't let no one come